Hello and greetings, fellow StarCrafters, and welcome back to game number 2. This is a best of 5, and it is a 1 versus 1 between the blue Terran player EGPuma down here in the bottom corner, and the red Terran player oGsNada, as he is not a member of Evil Geniuses. He's a member of Old Generations, which is a reference to the Brood War players, which is Old Generations is their team name, which you may very well know already. This map is Testbug. It is a map I want to say I haven't casted a game on Testbug in quite a while actually, and I believe, if I remember correctly, that the last time I casted a game on Testbug that it was a Terran versus Terran. I know I've casted at least one Terran versus Terran, but I will talk about the map a little bit. It is, if you look at the mini-map, it is a 3-player map. This place, where the 2 players are the first 2 spawning locations, the third one is right here. And each location has a natural expansion, I believe, 7 mineral patches? No, 8 mineral patches, 2 gas. It has the neutral supply depot, that doesn't matter in a Terran versus Terran. And it has watchtowers covering each of the entrances to each of the expansions, and little rocks indicating exactly how far the watchtower reaches, just to be a little bit more helpful there, and one watchtower in the middle as well. The rocks are defending these watchtowers, just because they are so incredibly important. You don't want the rocks on your watchtower to be busted, otherwise it's very easy to set up a contain, especially in a Terran versus Terran, where it can become very difficult to bust where it can be very difficult to bust out of a watchtower-controlled siege tank line. Certainly possible and very doable, but it's very, very difficult to do so. And generally speaking, you have to lose a lot of forces to be able to do it. Now, we've already seen a divergence of builds, as Puma did not opt for the gas first, whereas Nada did. So it looks like Nada's probably going to be going for a little bit heavier of a rush. And, both players went for the gas first in the previous game. It just makes your factory just a little bit sooner, as we're actually going to be able to see exactly how much sooner it is. As, this is going to be right about 3 minutes is when Nada's going to be able to start his factory, as he'll be starting it right there. And then he'll get a marine as soon as he gets to 50 minerals. Whereas Puma rather, were they? I want to say they were different colors last game. Maybe they weren't the different colors and I'm just screwing this up. Whereas Puma is now, he now is just at 100 gas. So it's exactly 30 seconds delayed, which is a relatively significant delay. However, it does mean that Puma is going to have a little bit stronger of an economy in general. He'll have more mineral income. And because he has the orbital command sooner, he'll have his mules just a little bit sooner as well. And that's going to be helping him in the long run. You can also see that he has the Marine on patrol out front to stop any sort of scouting from going on. Meanwhile, his SCV did in fact go over to the right side. Notice that his opponent was not there. He'll move up. He will see... Actually, he'll probably get a glimpse of the factory. We'll go ahead and take a look. Oh, actually, if he had moved all the way up, I think he maybe would have barely seen it. Actually, Nada might have placed that perfectly so that it could not be scouted by an SCV. In which case, then Nada is awesome, and that's really cool. And it looks like Nada's actually going for the exact same build as in the previous game, as he still has not opted for that second gas, so he is going to be getting a Banshee, most likely. He could be following up a cloakless... Well, no. I want to say he could follow up a cloakless Banshee with... a timing attack. A lot of Korean players do like to do that. I would say that's not that likely, just because you still need that second gas if that's the case. So most likely I think he's going to be expanding. Because you always want siege tanks. It looks like Puma is actually doing the same build. Actually the exact same build, with the exception of the fact that he got the reactor second. So if he builds he'll be building a Banshee first. But after that Banshee, if he builds a Viking, he should be in a great position to be able to hold off this rush, and his command center is going to be going down a whole lot sooner than Nada's. And whoa! Raven coming out. Okay, so Puma's not going for harass at all. He's actually going to offer a Raven for defense against a Cloak Banshee, and then he'll be getting, after the Raven, I'm sure he'll be getting a Viking as well to be able to hold off any sort of harassment that's coming across. So he smells what's up. However, though, Nada was wise to not invest in that Cloak, as that Cloak will not help him very much against Raven, obviously, as the Raven will be able to detect it, and you really can't. It's very difficult to be able to move Vikings all the way down here to be able to pick off the Raven, especially when they have Vikings spawning so much closer. So basically, if you have a Raven, it's not going to be shot down, and you have a permanent source of detection against Banshees. It also has an auto turret, which will be available right away, so that will be able to help protect the mineral line before any turrets get up, as I do not believe he has an engineering bay yet. And actually, there's a little bit of poor control from Nada, taking a little bit more damage than he really had to there. Should be able to pick off maybe a couple more Marines. Nice job from Puma, though, able to put the healthy Marines up front there. Other players actually opted for a command center route, which is a little interesting to me. Oh, no, sorry. Nada has opted for a command center. Puma is not. So actually, I kind of wonder if Puma is aiming for a one-base play. He does have the Raven. The Raven will help him against Marauders and against Banshees as well, and also against Vikings. But I'm not sure that this attack would be terribly successful other than that, especially because if he is aiming for an attack, it looks to be relatively Marine heavy, and Nada is in fact opting for Blue Flame Hellions to follow up his Banshee harass with. Did he send that Banshee all the way home? Yes, he did, and he's repairing it. I love him for this. Not enough Terran players do this. Some Terran players are so sly. I think the little one, for example, if you he'll send the Banshee back over here, and then he'll repair it with an SCV that he used, that he was scouting with or something, so that he doesn't have to send a Banshee all the way back, and it can go back into action right away. And look at this. This is smart as well. He's got a couple of Marines because the Hellions were not quite done. He has the Viking following it to be able to protect the medevac, so that this Viking is not able to pick off the medevac, which it normally would have been able to do. And looks like both Vikings are just going to trade with each other. Meanwhile, though, a very scary attack is coming from Puma. Now, I said I didn't like this attack because of the Blue Flame Hellions. However, all of the Blue Flame Hellions are now going into this base. So it looks like this could be a very interesting situation indeed. Nada's going to move that command center back as soon as he spots this push. Looks like he actually hasn't spotted it yet. Meanwhile, the Blue Flame Hellions are going in. Now they're Blue Flames. Blue Flame's finishing right as the Hellions arrive. Looks like he will be able to bust right into... Actually, he's killing that a little slowly. Oh, he's spreading his fire just a little bit. He did lay an auto turret as well. It's going to help deal damage to forces that are coming out. Looks like the Blue Flame Hellions were taken out as well. If we go to the Workers Kill tab, he did kill 14 workers, so that's a pretty sizable amount. However, this is a lot of forces and a bunker going down into space. Oh my god, I do not know if Nada's going to be able to come out of this. He has all of the SCVs pulled as well as a siege tank. He's going to want the siege tank to focus fire against the opposing siege tank. Looks like it is going to be focus fire down from these siege tanks. The SCVs are getting a very nice surround here, but look at all of the Marines going down, and Puma does drop a Manor mule right there, able to tell Nada to get out of this game. He was dead. So this is what I'm talking about in these kinds of Terran versus Terran situations. Is he goes for the Blue Flame Hellion drop while Puma is going for as far as I can tell, is an all-in. I don't think he was not expanding behind this, and I don't think he was planning on it. And so it's just like a base trade scenario, which because Nada was just planning on expanding underneath his harassment and Puma was going for the all-in, Puma was able to win. His army was just that much bigger. So, very interesting game, and very quick games, actually. I didn't expect two Terran versus Terrans to go this quickly. But we will be moving on to game number 3. Maybe it'll be a little bit more macro-oriented. However, these games have been very exciting, to say the least. And so, hopefully we'll see maybe a little bit longer, but also games just as exciting. This is PGO Milncraft, signing off.